Did you know that an astonishing 30% to 45% of the global population suffers from sleep problems? You are likely one of them, trapped in this hidden epidemic.
Are you getting enough sleep? For many of us, the answer is a resounding no.
And in fact, it could be affecting your life in ways you don't even realize.
People who do not get consistent, good quality sleep have increased levels of cortisol. They have increase in metabolic syndrome, blood glucose level, inflammatory state.
Every disease that is killing us in developed nations, from cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, stroke, even suicide, they all have significant and causal links to insufficient sleep.
Everybody has a different sleep need in terms of the amount of sleep that they need, and that's also based on the quality of the sleep that they're getting.
We've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got hobbies, we've got interests, we've got the internet. All of these different things seem to take time out of our day. And then, of course, there's caffeine. A lot of us are drinking a whole lot of caffeine, which can not help keep you awake during the day, but might even prevent some of your sleep at night. So I think there's a whole host of reasons why we may be getting sleep deprived.
Evidence that getting a good night's sleep is essential to your health. New research finds adults over 50 who get 5 hours of sleep a night are at higher risk of developing more than one chronic disease, such as diabetes and heart disease. That's compared to people who sleep 7 hours a night. Experts recommend going to bed at the same time every night, avoiding napping, and turning off the TV.
Huge problem today is insomnia. Huge problem. And he said the danger is you don't even realize that you're lacking. He also showed that there are more accidents due to sleep deprivation than alcohol.
Dr. Barbara O'Neill, a world-renowned health expert and a passionate advocate for holistic and natural health, brings with her an impressive array of testimonials supporting her claims. Today, she will be revealing 5 natural hacks designed to enhance both the length and quality of your sleep. Stay tuned until the end of this video to ensure you don't miss any of the valuable insights she has to offer. This video promises to be filled with crucial information that could significantly improve your sleep experience, so be sure to watch all the way through to get all the juicy details.
One step forward with technology is people are being kept awake when they should be asleep. It's such a distraction and it's such an attraction. But what people don't realise is what it's doing inside their brain. So I'd like to have a look at what happens when we sleep. There's a little tiny gland in the base of our brain called the pineal gland. And the pineal gland sits right at the back of our brain and it releases 4 hormones every night. At the moment in summertime, it's between 10 and 3. And in the winter time, it's between 9 and 2. What also enhances is sleeping with an empty stomach. And the way to eat with an empty stomach is to have breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen. And if you have anything, or you call it supper at night, maybe it's just a cup of tea, cup of herb tea, maybe it's a bowl of soup. I know my sons, they work out after work, so they'll have a protein smoothie at night.
Dr. Barbara advises that we eat a light meal at night because a heavy meal can interfere with our sleep. When we consume a large meal in the evening, our stomach must work hard to digest it, which can disrupt our sleep. The process of digesting a heavy meal requires significant effort from our digestive system, keeping it active throughout the night and preventing it from resting along with the rest of our body. During digestion, blood is drawn from other parts of the body to the stomach and intestines to aid in breaking down the food. This shift of blood flow is essential for enhancing the digestive process. However, it also means that the digestive system remains engaged and active instead of entering a rest mode when we go to sleep. This ongoing activity can make it difficult to fall asleep and can continually interrupt our sleep as the digestion process unfolds. The process of digestion not only keeps the stomach busy, but also involves various physiological responses that are not conducive to restful sleep. For instance, the production of stomach acids and digestive enzymes increases, which can lead to discomfort or even heartburn, particularly if you lie down shortly after eating. This discomfort can make falling asleep more challenging and can cause frequent awakenings during the night, further reducing sleep quality.
Dr. Matthew Walker, he showed that eating a huge evening meal interfered with sleep. When we sleep at night, our stomach wants to sleep. But when we eat a huge evening meal, then by the time we go to bed, it's usually still all in there, and your body has to keep working. It's got to keep working, otherwise that will, in that warm environment, it would start to rot, it would start to go bad. So eating breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, and tea or supper like a pauper. Now if you've got young men who are working physically hard all day, their evening meal might be a bowl of thick soup, or it might be a smoothie. But for people that aren't working really physically hard, and especially people trying to lose a bit of weight, they're better to go maybe just a herb tea, or maybe just a light soup. You will sleep better if your stomach is allowed to sleep too.
Additionally, eating a heavy meal can cause a spike in blood sugar levels, followed by a subsequent drop, which might result in waking up in the middle of the night feeling hungry or restless. This fluctuation in blood sugar levels can disturb the natural sleep cycle, making it hard to achieve the deep, restorative sleep that is necessary for overall health and well-being. To promote better sleep, Dr. Barbara suggests opting for a lighter evening meal. By reducing the digestive burden, the body can more easily enter a state of rest, allowing for a more peaceful and uninterrupted sleep. Furthermore, she recommends allowing sufficient time between your last meal and bedtime to ensure that the majority of the digestion process is completed before you go to sleep. This practice can help prevent the digestive system from remaining overly active during the night, facilitating better sleep quality.
When people eat their largest meal at night, it inhibits the output of those hormones at night because so much energy is required to digestion. See, when we go to sleep at night, our stomach wants to sleep too. That's why we should be eating most of our food at breakfast and lunch, our two main meals. So you could take that before every meal and just before bed. Take it before you go to sleep at night. It coats and soothes the light.
Dr. Barbara emphasises the importance of eating light at night to prevent the digestive system from interfering with sleep. By choosing easily digestible foods and giving yourself ample time before bed, you can improve your chances of enjoying a good night's rest, free from the disruptions caused by a heavy meal.
Hydration. We lose water every night. I don't know if you've ever slept on a mattress on the floor, and when you wake up in the morning and you lift the mattress, you notice it's all damp because we lose moisture every night. The most dehydrated time of the whole day is when we wake up in the morning. I say to my grandchildren when they stay, "Have you watered your garden yet?" It's their garden down there. Sometimes they come out and say, "Grandma, we've watered our garden." I say, "Great, it's ready for breakfast." It's ready for breakfast. I try always have water next to my bed. If I wake in the night, I have a few sips. You just have it always with you. When you are well hydrated, you will sleep better.
Dr. Barbara advises that we ensure we are fully hydrated before going to sleep, emphasising the importance of drinking enough water throughout the day. Proper hydration significantly affects our ability to sleep well. Going to bed dehydrated can lead to waking up with a headache or feeling as though we haven't slept at all. Our bodies lose a considerable amount of water during sleep, so it's crucial to be well hydrated before bedtime. However, Dr. Barbara also cautions against drinking too much water right before bed, as this can lead to frequent urination during the night, disrupting sleep. Balancing hydration is key to ensuring a restful night without unnecessary interruptions.
What also enhances is hydration. We need to be well hydrated when we sleep. You can't hydrate your body just before you go to sleep. You've got to start in the beginning of the day. When you start in the beginning of the day, by the time you go to sleep at night, you've got a well-hydrated body. I don't drink a lot of water before I go to sleep because I don't want my sleep to be interrupted with having to get up to the bathroom.
To achieve optimal hydration and a peaceful night's sleep, it's important to focus on drinking water consistently throughout the day. This approach helps maintain adequate hydration levels without overloading the bladder right before bed. Dr. Barbara recommends spreading water intake evenly from morning until early evening, tapering off as bedtime approaches. One strategy to ensure proper hydration is to start the day with a glass of water. Throughout the day, aim to drink water regularly, perhaps carrying a water bottle as a reminder. As the evening progresses, gradually reduce water intake to avoid the need for nighttime bathroom trips. Dr. Barbara suggests having your last substantial glass of water about 2 hours before bed. If you feel thirsty close to bedtime, take small sips instead of a large drink to quench your thirst without overloading your bladder. However, be cautious with caffeinated or sugary drinks, especially in the evening, as they can disrupt sleep.
I would drink probably 3 to 4 glasses before breakfast. It's easy for me. I wake at 5 and eat at 7. And then I would have possibly another 3 glasses between breakfast and lunch. I try and leave a good 5 hours between my meals. And so in the afternoon, I have 2, maybe 3 glasses of water. And that allows me to sleep all night. I know some people that can drink 2 glasses of water before they go to bed and they can sleep all night. So you just have to get to know what works for you. That's why we're the doctor. If it works, do it. If it doesn't work, adjust until it does work. Now, I drink most of my water in the earlier part of the day. Some people can drink 16 ounces of water before they go to bed and sleep for 8 hours. I can't. If I eat that much water, I have to get up a couple of times. I learned a few years ago not to have watermelon for tea too. It was such a beautiful watermelon. I had several slices. I think I got up 6 times then. And yet some people don't. You've got to get knowing what you can do. So I try and have probably only about 2 glasses of water in the afternoon before I go to bed, and then I can usually sleep the whole night.
By maintaining a balanced approach to hydration throughout the day and adjusting water intake in the evening, you can achieve optimal hydration and enjoy a peaceful night's sleep.
And then we've got, say, 3 to 5. 3 to 5 a.m, we've got 20% non-rapid eye movement happening and 80% rapid eye movement happening. Fascinating. And it shows so much. So what happens in people who don't go to bed till midnight? And unfortunately, because of technology today, you see this so much. At a recent health retreat that we ran in Alabama, I was surprised and almost shocked at how many of our guests, and we had 11 guests, are going, the earliest was 11 p.m. Some midnight, some 1 a.m. I said, what do you do? What are you doing at that time of night? I can promise you, if the lights are dull, you have a book, and there's soft music in the background, you can't stay awake. I can't. What's keeping them awake? It's technology. Technology in the bedroom interferes with the sleep.
Dr. Barbara highlights the negative impact of using mobile devices late into the night on our sleep quality. Phones and laptops emit light waves that closely resemble sunlight, which can disrupt our natural sleep patterns. This type of light exposure tricks our brains into believing it is still daytime, thereby hindering our ability to fall asleep. In today's digital age, many individuals spend considerable time on their devices late into the evening, whether for work, browsing social media, or engaging in other online activities. This prolonged use of screens before bedtime often leads to difficulty falling asleep. The artificial light emitted by these devices interferes with the production of melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep-wake cycles, making it harder for the body to recognize that it's time to wind down for the night. Moreover, even after a person eventually tries to sleep, the habit of checking phones for messages, emails, or updates can further disrupt the process. This temptation to stay connected or catch up on notifications can prevent the brain from fully relaxing, making it even more challenging to fall asleep or stay asleep throughout the night.
80% of Americans sleep with their phone under their pillow, and the pillow is no protection against these electromagnetic fields. Is this the contributing factor to the headaches we're seeing, the mental illnesses that we're seeing? When I discovered that these devices have blue light, not the same as sunlight, but similar, telling us it's daytime, I used to do all my emails of an evening. I don't now. I do my emails late afternoon, because when that sun goes down, guess what should happen to the devices? They should close. Huge problem today is insomnia. Huge problem. By looking at this, you can see why.
Dr. Barbara advises overcoming the urge to check devices during the night, as it can exacerbate sleep problems. Engaging with screens late at night or repeatedly checking them can prolong the time it takes to fall asleep and cause frequent awakenings during the night. This constant stimulation from screens can lead to a cycle of poor sleep quality and increased reliance on devices.
Two things that will stop sleep. Getting into the chat room, we all know the chat room, and also looking at your phone. 80% of people in America sleep with their phone. The phone should not be in the bedroom, it should be out of the bedroom. Even if you're on call, put it in the hallway, you'll wake up. So it's not only the electromagnetic field that's affecting you, but there's a temptation, if you can't sleep, to look at your messages. Yeah? It's a temptation for me, because Australia's awake when I'm asleep. So in the middle of the night, Australia's awake, but I will not. In the sunlight, there is blue light, and the blue light is absorbed through a little receptor site on our retina called melanopsin. And when blue light from the sunlight is absorbed through our eyes to our brain, it increases our ability to solve mathematical problems. It increases our ability to assess things, all because our eyes through the day have sunlight. And the blue light comes from the sunlight. The technology, the screens, whether they be iPad, whether they be computer, whether they be the phones, there is a blue light that comes out. Now, it's a different frequency to sunlight. But in the middle of the night, if you look at your phone, there's enough blue light going in there to say to your brain, daytime, wake up, because it's right here. Whereas when you watch a screen like a television, your brain already knows it's dark and you're watching. So it doesn't mean that I'm saying you can watch television till late at night. Ever tried to watch something exciting and then go to sleep? There must be a time of winding down, especially that hour before you go to sleep.
To mitigate these issues, Dr. Barbara suggests setting a digital curfew, reserving the last hour before bedtime for non-screen activities. Engaging in relaxing, screen-free activities such as reading a book, practicing meditation, or listening to calming music can help prepare the body for sleep. Establishing a bedtime routine that avoids screen exposure can signal to the brain that it's time to transition into sleep mode, enhancing the overall quality of rest.
That's why a great thing to do if you can't sleep is just put a soft light on and read. Don't get an exciting book, just maybe The Life Habits of the Australian Platypus or something. That can get you out of the chat room too, reading. When you exercise in the day, as you perspire, you are letting go of the waste. And that's why exercise is so important to be able to increase your ability to sleep. Ecclesiastes says, the sleep of a labouring man is sweet. In other words, when you physically move through the day, you get physical exhaustion at night and you can sleep better.
Dr. Barbara emphasises the importance of regular exercise for achieving a long and restful sleep. She recommends incorporating physical activity into your daily routine, such as jogging, cycling, or even a brisk walk in the morning. Engaging in exercise during the day actively involves the body, which in turn increases the body's need for rest and sleep. Regular physical activity helps regulate the body's internal clock and promotes deeper, more restorative sleep. When you exercise, your body works harder and expends more energy, leading to a greater need for rest and recovery. This natural process helps to synchronize your sleep-wake cycle, making it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep throughout the night.
He also talked about the importance of exercise. And so he advocated walking 5 kilometres a day. What's that? Now, I quickly worked this out when I was in Rocky Mountains National Park last Saturday afternoon, and when I saw the 2 to Emerald Lake, I thought 2 kilometres, no, it was 2 miles, which is twice as far. So I guess 5 kilometres would be almost 10, and it took her an hour, and little by little, as the weeks went by, her pain levels got less and less, and she was able to come off her pain medication. She had to do 2 things. She had to exercise every day, and she had to go to bed early at night. Because if you go to bed late, of course, you can't access your arginine vasotocin. Something else happened as she exercised. Her muscles and her ligaments and her tendons that are around her injury became strong, and they compensated for the injury. Isn't that interesting? And she also found, and I was looking at this in detail recently, that as the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments around the spine are starting to work, more blood's going into that area, and that blood supply that sits around the bones nourishes the bone, and the bone can actually recover and heal. Isn't that incredible? What an amazing body we have. That's why exercise certainly, last but not least, in the basic laws of health.
Dr. Barbara points out that many people today spend a significant portion of their time at the computer, primarily engaging in mental tasks. This sedentary lifestyle limits the amount of physical activity they get, which can negatively impact their sleep quality. Incorporating exercise into your daily routine can counteract these effects. The key is to find an activity that you enjoy and can consistently fit into your schedule. Regular exercise not only helps with sleep, but also improves overall health and well-being.
If you want to sleep good at night, get physically active in the day. If you can't run, try the exercise bike. Try the rebounder, try swimming, but some sort of physical exercise. Remember Ecclesiastes, the sleep of a labouring man is sweet, because that man is physically exhausted from his physical exercise. And so many people today are at the computer. They're not doing physical work, they're doing brain work. Yes, the brain does need a rest when it's been working hard, but it needs that physical. Many guests that have been to our program, they buy the little rebound, you know, the little mini trampolines in their office. And everyone in the office does 1 minute every hour. 1 minute every hour. Now, you could even do it if you had 60 people in the office, couldn't you? Something that keeps most people awake. Most people that can't sleep worry. Have you heard of the chat room? My brain tends to go into the chat room if I wake in the night. Now, what am I going to do about this? Now, I'll do, and I'll solve this. I'm a problem solver. I'm always trying to solve. And if you stay in the chat room, you'll never go to sleep. So how do you get out of the chat room? Well, there's lots of things you can do to get out of the chat room. You can hum hymns, songs. You can, what I do is I recite Bible verses. I've memorised some whole chapters. So I've memorised chapter 1, James chapter 1, and there's about 27 verses there. I don't have a great memory. This took me about 6 months to do that one. But I've done it, it's really in cement now, so I can easily relate it. So I start going through that. And do you know that I get to the 3rd verse and my brain tries to jump into the chat room and pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. There's your prefrontal cortex. Pull it back. And I get to the 6th verse, is trying to jump into the chat room again, and I pull it back. I pull it back. I see the prefrontal cortex like the reins. Well, pull that horse back, pull it back. Pull those emotions, thoughts and feelings back. And then in the morning when I wake up, I think, now what verse did I get to? I usually get to verse 13. Then I remember no more. Or you can start at 50 and count backwards. And if that's not long enough, you could start at 100 and count backwards. So it's just getting your mind out of the chat room. Because if you stay in that chat room, it's very hard to go back to sleep.
When you find yourself lying awake, consumed by worries, try incorporating these techniques into your bedtime routine. Humming a soothing melody or reciting numbers in reverse can help distract your mind from anxious thoughts, creating a mental environment more conducive to relaxation and sleep. By focusing on these calming activities, you can reduce the intensity of your worries and promote a more restful state.
Clean and natural bedding. So start looking out for the cotton blankets, the woolen blankets, the feather blankets.
You might be surprised to learn that the type of bedding you use can significantly impact your sleep quality. Dr. Barbara advises choosing bedding materials such as cotton, wool, or feather blankets. These options are recommended for their comfort and breathability, which contribute to a more restful sleep environment. In addition to selecting the right bedding materials, Dr. Barbara emphasises the importance of maintaining cleanliness and preventing mould growth. To achieve this, it is crucial to regularly air out your blankets. This practice helps reduce the risk of mould development, which can thrive in damp environments. The moisture we lose from our bodies during the night can accumulate in bedding, creating an environment conducive to mould growth if not properly managed.
If you have a feather quilt, it needs to be out in the sun, maybe once a month. You can wash it once a year. We lose a lot of moisture while we sleep, and that moisture can be taken into those feathers. The feathers can even start to develop mould. So it's important. I love feather. We have our feather quilt on our bed, but I air it often, I sun it often, and I wash it about once a year. So you can do that.
Dr. Barbara O'Neill strongly emphasises the importance of getting 8 hours of sleep each night for optimal brain function. This amount of rest is crucial for maintaining cognitive and physical performance throughout the day. Despite this recommendation, many people struggle to achieve a full 8 hours of sleep due to various factors, such as distractions from mobile devices, staying up late, or using stimulants like caffeine to remain awake.
8 hours sleep a night. 8 hours, not negotiable. When I turned 50, I found that I started to have about 6 hours sleep a night, and I felt good. I used to tell people, since I turned 50, I don't need as much sleep. Once I read this book, well, I very quickly have trained myself back into 8 hours. Because that's the danger of the 6 hour. You feel okay, but it's a great deception because all of these things aren't happening.
To ensure peak brain and physical performance, Dr. Barbara advises aiming for a full 8 hours of sleep each night. This amount of sleep allows the body and mind to fully recover, support cognitive functions, and maintain physical health. Establishing a consistent sleep routine and creating a sleep-friendly environment can help achieve this goal.
So you can do much to enhance your sleep by implementing these things. Just a few more things, especially on the invention. There's a story of a man who was a pianist, and there was one piece of music he just could not get. He went to bed. When he woke up in the morning, he went straight to his piano and he played it beautifully. God has an appointment with us early in the morning, and we miss that appointment so often because we go to bed too late. We eat too late. We're dehydrated. We haven't exercised. We don't get that adequate sleep.
Will you try any of Dr. Barbara's methods to enhance your sleep quality? Let us know in the comments section.